We're in Manchester, where glass and steel meets Industrial Revolution and even older. Welcome to Manchester, and the site we're on right now is historically important for the Industrial Revolution, as well as many other things as well. Right behind us here is the 1830s station. This is Liverpool Street Station in Manchester, which is the oldest surviving passenger station in the world. It's currently closed to refurb work, unfortunately. It didn't actually last that long. It was opened in 1830 as part of the Liverpool-Manchester Railway and was closed by 1844, but still carried on running until 1975 as a goods station. I'll cover this station at a later date once it's opened again. It is part of a museum here, which is free to enter, but they do ask for a £5 donation. There's also the 1830s warehouse there. That is the oldest railway goods warehouse in the world, and used to store quite a few things, butter and fish and stuff. It only took about 5 months to build it. This then leads us onto the Bridgewater Canal, and this is the second oldest canal of the industrial era in the UK, and technically the first cut. So the older one is the Sankey Canal, and that was following the river navigation, so a lot of people class this as the first canal. It's got some really interesting sites on. You go further down, you've got Delft, which is where all the mines were and stuff, and it's a really fascinating area. As you come up through here, you can see we've just got viaduct after viaduct up through here. This is the Castlefields Viaduct, and it sits on the canal and is a bit of a concert venue. Now, the name Castlefield is going to ring true very soon in this video, and I'll explain why this area is called Castlefield. Probably is quite obvious now I'm saying it, but I just want to show you this first. Look at this. This is just viaducts, and there's a viaduct, two viaducts there, there's another viaduct just there. We've just walked under this viaduct here with the canal in between. It's absolutely fascinating, and a proper old school canal bridge. I'm going to do a video on this on my canal channel, so keep an eye out for that one on there. Look at this old cast iron bridge there. It's good that this was all saved and wasn't bulldozed for the railways. So we're going to take a little jump across there to see why it's called Castlefields, and then we're going to end the video up above here. There's something really cool right above us. Great news, I'm now on Patreon. You get all the footage from both channels, Caught Above the Cut and Caught Exploring, all the members only stuff, all the behind the scenes and everything else. It's split into 5 tiers. All tiers get the same amount no matter how much you pay, and it's a great way to support my channel. So please pop onto Patreon, the links are in the description, where you can join up and find out more. Now, the coming of the canals, which we've just seen, started the revolution in Manchester, and the railways continued that, and it became a bustling, booming place of industry. Manchester is an industrial city, which has changed a lot over the years, and it wasn't until 1853 that Manchester actually became a city, but it dates back much further than that. And we're on the site here of a Roman fort. Now, this fort was established in the year 79 AD, and it was called Mamucium. Right here we're on the site of what they think is probably a house, a shop and an inn, and this was probably built in timber. These stone walls are just showing the footprints of what they found when they excavated the area in 1972. This fort was built in 3 phases over around 120 years, and the original fort was made of timber and turf, so they literally built some ramparts up with turf and put a timber wall on the top of it. It's about 1.2 hectares and housed about 480 Roman troops. Now, these troops were what's called auxiliary troops, so they weren't actually Roman citizens, but they were from the Roman Empire, and the hope was that by being a soldier in retirement they were granted citizenship, which was a major thing in Rome. It was actually really difficult to become a Roman citizen. Then what you have in front of us is a 1983 reconstruction of what they think the gatehouse would have looked like, and this is due to archaeological evidence as well as various other things and sort of general research into these forts. Now, there's a lot of debate about whether this is what it would have looked like, and sort of purist probably doesn't like this sort of thing. I think it's pretty cool to see. You've got this old fort site here. It's in a very historic area of Manchester, so to be able to show this fort is a great idea in my opinion. There was nothing here, so they weren't building on sort of lost ruins or anything like that. What you can see as you walk along these ramparts here below are a series of ditches, and these were completely lost, but they redug them out again on where they expected them to be. Now, this is the original site of them. This site was expanded between 90 AD and 160 AD, and they strengthened the rampart and altered the ditches. And then again they rebuilt it then and expanded the site from about 1.5 hectares to 2 hectares. They reckon by about 200 AD there was about 2,000 people living here, so it was quite a significant site. And it was built here because the River Irwell and the River Medlock join here, and it was on a sandstone bluff, so it was quite an important strategic route. Plus it also joined the forts of Chester to York. It was on that main road, as well as the roads going from the south up to Hadrian's Wall, so it was quite an important area here to defend. But if we come and have a look across here, we can see where the site was expanded to. So the original ramparts were roughly where this road is here running across, and it would have joined kind of in the corner there. But when they expanded this site, they took it over this field. So this originally here would have been a bunch of pits where they extracted gravel and to help with the construction of the fort itself. But if we come across to here, this is the extended site, which was done much later. This allowed a bit more land for buildings. So this is the granary, which was built on the site of where the old pits would have been, and it was a raised platform on the bottom. It was designed to keep the grain cool and dry, which kind of stops it from germinating, which obviously you didn't want when you were storing it for your winter. They'd have had a bunch of pillars on the floor here, which would have raised the floor and reduce the ground dampness and allow airflow underneath. The Romans were pretty good at this sort of thing. They invented underfloor heating with a very similar system, where they would set a fire and then blow the heat through under the floor, and that would warm their buildings up. And the idea was, normally you'd have 2 of these granaries on a site, and it'd be enough to supply the whole fort for grain for the whole year. So on this rampart here, we go up and there's another reconstructed wall just above us. Now these walls were built in about 300 AD, and they replaced the timber walls that were originally on them. This is the later site, so it's further across, like I say. And just down below us here is the canal we were just at, with the viaducts just over there. So this site would have been abandoned around 350 to 400 AD. Now Romans left in 410 AD, they left Britain completely. So I think this site was fully abandoned by about 411. But in about 350 AD, all the civilians left here, and it was just a smaller garrison here after that point. But what you may notice on this site is it's cut in half, and we're actually on like a triangle. So the middle of the fort would have been kind of over where those viaducts are there. And the railway built through the site years ago. So I said to you we had something quite cool to go up and see above, and that is one of those viaducts. So let's jump up to Castlefields Viaduct and have a little look. I'm nearly at the top of the stairs of where we're going now, but look at this. This is a great way to show you the contrast in Manchester. You've got the skyscrapers, glass and steel. You've got the Roman fort to the right, and the railways in the left. Right behind there you've got the canals. It's so fascinating around here. And here we are. This is Castlefields Viaduct. It's around 1,000 foot long, and it was built in the Victorian era. It was designed by the people who built the Blackpool Tower, and is part of the Historical Railways estate. And since 2022, about a third of its length is now a sky park. It throws back to the railway era with these seats. And look at this structure. Right behind it here, you can see the towers starting to loom out. Let's walk through into the Sky Garden now. So this was originally only good given temporary access. Like I said, it only covers about a third of the route, but in April 2025 this was given permission to be extended along the entire route. So what they've done here is they've given bits of the garden to different people. So you can see through here, it's all buddleia through here, and lots of different sort of shrubs and stuff have been planted. There's more buddleia across there as well, which is fantastic for the bees and the butterflies. And the idea behind it is that everybody from all the communities around can get involved and put their own print on this fantastic viaduct. And it's much better than it being abandoned like it was. I mean, this is in the middle of a city. It's absolutely beautiful. You've got the railways, which are constantly running beside you, but it brings that green corridor back into a city where it's desperately needed. I mean, all around here you've got construction going, you've got skyscrapers appearing everywhere. This whole skyline is now dominated by glass and steel. And it's great to save some of this industrial heritage, which would otherwise be lost. The viaduct itself consists of 8 steel spans and on large cast iron columns which have castellated funnels. And if you look through these gardens, Everything tells a different story. Got a little pond in this one. There is one here which is done, and it's just all nettles and stuff. And you think, why would they bother doing that? But the reality is, it's promoting stuff that heals people. And nettles have got really good healing properties, as well as all the other stuff that we planted in them. But look at it. This is absolutely beautiful. And we literally walk across here, and we look down from here, and we've got the Bridgewater Canal. We've got the railway station where we started the video just over there, and that's all been the site being redeveloped through. You can just see the end of it just there actually. Everywhere you look, there's a nod to the industrial past. You can see the intricate layout of viaducts here, like as you come through. They've got a little seating area with information boards and stuff. It's really cool. And this is phase 3, which they've just got planning for. Now this is going to be a lot different. It's going to be a lot more wild. Although they've got an RHS winning water garden going kind of in the middle, which will be the main feature. But everything else will be kind of this ballast with a winding path running through, and sort of more natural growth coming in to kind of show what the abandonment looks like. And it's kind of what it is now. You'll have stuff like birch growing up through it and stuff like that, which just self-seeds itself on this site. But this should start hopefully by the end of the year, and you'll be able to extend right through the entire length of the viaduct. You can see here there's bees all over the place. And this is fantastic in the middle of a city, and it's absolutely, I don't know the best word. A lady inside who works for the National Trust just said it herself. She said she's worked all over the place on historic structures all over the country with National Trust, and she said this place is just absolutely bonkers, and that is probably the best way to describe it. You are like 2 minutes away down those steps from going into a bustling city in a massive green corridor with trams going and railways behind us and canal in front of us and all this history surrounding us. It's insane. And you can support this project. I'll put some links in the description, and a QR code will hopefully flash up now. And please do donate if you can, because this sort of thing needs to be done more. This green corridor with a green and blue corridor below us, all this nature in a city is absolutely perfect. So thanks for watching. Have a great day.